The chair now recognizes Ms. Luna from Florida.
For those of you tuning in, each Congress, the Government Accountability Office provides a list of programs and operations that are susceptible to fraud, waste, and abuse management or needs improvement. As of 2023 in April, there were 37 areas on the high-risk list, one of which was improving federal oversight on food safety, which is an area that still needs major improvement after being added to the list back in 2007. In the United States, the safety and quality of food is overseen by around 30 federal laws and are administrated by 15 federal agencies. One major area of concern is food safety, is the use of food dyes, which have been linked to hyperactivity, behavioral issues in children, including an increased risk of certain cancers and other health problems. This is because the food dyes that they're using are derived from petroleum and often contain chemicals that are toxic to the body. Other countries like the United Kingdom have taken the safety and quality of food so seriously that they have banned dyes like red 40, yellow 5, and yellow 6 food colorings because of safety concerns. Another area of concern for food safety is the importation process for foods, which are regulated by several agencies, including the FDA and the USDA. I recently was able to visit a port where I witnessed the importation process firsthand and realized that in the instance of seafoods, they're not always tested when they arrive at our ports, which is a huge problem because studies have shown that China's seafood farms, which produce about 80% of the world's mariculture, are responsible for dumping large amounts of antibiotics into the ocean, giving dyes to fish like red 40 that are known to cause cancer, as well as whatever other nasty things they decide to feed them. Mr. Dodaro, why is improving the oversight on food safety on the GAO's risk list?
We have a lot of concerns about the level. You know, the last estimates in terms of there's about 125,000 people a year that get ill from food safety. There's a number of hospitalizations, and there are about 3,000 deaths that occur based on the last estimate. So I'm very concerned about it from a public health and safety standpoint. The system is fragmented, and I'll ask Mr. Gaffigan, our expert, to explain some additional reasons.
If I guess I then can ask him, why is the federal agency that's tasked with improving the oversight of food safety not develop a national plan or strategy to address this problem?
I wish I had a good answer to that. We've recommended that they do so in various ways. There was a food safety working group back in 2009, when shortly after we had put this on the list. That stopped meeting in 2011. That was one mechanism. We've talked about them then establishing, again, a national strategy or a blue ribbon commission to study this. We've done a National Academies panel. Everybody agrees there needs to be some kind of national strategy that brings all these entities together.
Do you know why they stopped meeting back in 2011, was it?
Just, again, I think the problem is no one's in charge, right? When you have 15 agencies in charge, no one's in charge. And I think there's also, from Congress, we've suggested that they could take action to designate, a lead agency. And so it's just been kind of go along, and as things come up, like we talked about infant formula, okay, well, let's develop an immediate national strategy. We recently did a work on cell-cultured food, how they're going to address that. And again, it's the same issue. How are you guys working together? Okay, you need to do better at collaboration. We made a bunch of recommendations in that line. So as each thing comes up, and you mentioned additives, okay, now do we need a national strategy on additives?
Well,
so,
for these instances,
right.
they cause cancer. So I guess, would anyone here feed your family something that's known to cause cancer?
So
probably not, right?
That's why it's on the list.
Exactly. Okay, so does GAO in general, Mr. Dodaro, look at other countries in regards to their food standards and make recommendations on how we should implement that here in the United States?
Yeah, Mark, have we ever looked at that?
Like UK, Asia, anywhere?
Yeah, that has come up at times. We haven't done any recent work on that. We're aware of what's going on in other countries and sometimes talk about that. There hasn't been an interest in that. And I'll mention, and this is the same issue on chemicals, which are on our high-risk list, what they do to address chemicals and chemical assessments. The EU does things, because chemicals don't know any borders, additives, those sorts of things. So I think there's some potential there. We haven't done any recent work, or we haven't been asked to, but we're open to having those discussions.
I think, obviously the bigger issue is the American public needs to be able to trust the food that's available for purchase at grocery stores, and through, understanding that there should be a strict safety and quality standard that's met before it's available to the public, but unfortunately that seems to not be the case, especially in these instances. And I'm just going to close with this. I hear a lot of people talking about SNAP and EBT, but the more processed foods are, the more crap, excuse my language, is in them. And unfortunately, this is basically government subsidized poison that we're giving to many people that can't afford food, and it actually leads to long-term health impacts. So thank you, Chairman. I yield my time.